I'll put some pictures up at the end to prove what I'm saying. So please stay tuned to the end. My mom used to tell people that my daughter goes on vacation and she takes pictures of dead people. Because I never went on vacation to go on vacation. I never went on vacation to sightsee or anything like that, or lay on a beach or anything like that. I went on vacation specifically to do genealogical work, especially when we left New York. I'd want to go home to New York so I could do genealogical research because I'm from New York. And if I had known stuff before I moved away, then I would have done this stuff sooner, and my tree might be a little bit further. But I hadn't reached a certain point in my research yet. So in my current state that I live in, I can get genealogical records to the 1600s. Not a problem. I mean, they're right there. You can just help yourselves go look at them. New York, on the other hand, certain particular areas of New York, you can't get past 1850. Unless the church is still standing today and has their records, unless the cemetery hasn't had a fire. The lack of newspapers during that juncture for that period, for that local farm town. You're right. Land records, maybe, but you have to actually go to the place. They're not published anymore. Tax records, I've tried those. But like I said, when I was doing those, I didn't know about other people. So you have to actually go there. And New York, I think, has got a 5 or 6 year wait now on genealogical stuff because they've had to cut staff. So, it's just, so I was watching this, I'm getting off tangent here, but, I was watching this video the other day, and all these ways to do genealogy. And for my one specific area, not a single one of those things. There's no birth certificates for my area. There's no death certificates for this area. They have blank spaces. They have like 5 or 10 year blank spaces where there's no records, where they stop keeping records. That's where my ancestors are, in that blank space. The cemetery had a fire, so that's why there's a blank space. There's no birth certificates. They were born at home, not at a hospital. Marriage certificates are few and far between. I'm having trouble finding those. It's just the area. So anyways, if you're going on vacation, so this is murder on vacation, if then. Going on vacation, does murder follow you? Anyways, my glasses just fogged up. Talk about off tangent. Selena, I know you're the only one still here. Oh, speaking of which, smoke. So anyways, murder on vacation. Nell Gooden. Happy Valentine's Day. Well, maybe not so much. Molly Sutton B&B is jam-packed for the holiday. But whatever romance is in the air quickly snuffed out when somebody turns up dead. In addition to worrying that one of her remaining guests is a killer, Molly is not feeling tip-top and spends more time napping than sleuzing. That's no way to catch a murderer. Okay. Not exactly sure why you'd publish a book about a person sleeping. Tess Bailey, My Killer Vacation. It was supposed to be a relaxing vacation in sweet sunny Cape Cod. Just Taylor Bassey and her beloved brother, but discovering a corpse in the rental house has really thrown a wrench into their tanning schedule. Now, a rude, crude bounty hunter has arrived on the back of his motorcycle to catch the killer and refuses to believe that Taylor can be helpful despite countless hours she spent listening to crime podcasts, not to mention her fulfilling teaching career of wrangling second graders. Excuse me, if you're a bounty hunter, how can you catch a killer on a motorcycle? Explain this to me. You're going to tell the guy to get on the back of the bike and hug you so you can take him to jail? I don't think so. or you're going to call the cops. And once you turn over the cops, the bounty's not yours anymore. I don't think. I have no idea. I've never, I'm just listening to Stephanie Plum. Miles Summer is only there to do a job, not babysit an amateur sleuth. Although it's becoming less and less of a hardship to have Taylor around, she's stubborn, distracting, and can't stay out of harm's way. She's also brave and beautiful and reminds him of home. In other words, the insatiable hunger and protectiveness she's awakening is a threat to his peace of mind. Before Miles sinks any deeper into this dangerous attraction, he needs to resolve the murder and get back on the road. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. One of the books that inspired this particular video. Every time I go on vacation, someone dies. Catherine Mack. Eleanor Dash's literary career took off after she fictionalized her adventures in Europe as a young woman. Years later, with many best-selling books under her belt, she's now on a book tour of Italy with a group of her best friends. She's plagued by once lover Connor Smith, who she wrote as a main character in her series. Now she's planning on killing him off in the hopes that he'll get out of her life once and for all. But someone wants to take Connor out for real, leaving a trail of bodies behind them. Can Eleanor figure out who wants to kill Connor before anyone else is murdered? The Vacation. John Mars. Vienna's beach, Los Angeles, the paradise on earth. Tourists flock to the Golden Coast and promise of Hollywood. But for 8 strangers at a beachfront hotel, it's far more on their minds than extended vacation. All of them are running for something, and they all have secrets. Oops, bookmark. Vacation Land. Louisa has come to her parents' house in Maine from Brooklyn this summer with all 3 of her kids. No husband, a barely written book, and a trunk full of resentment. Louisa is hoping that the crisp breeze off Penobscot Bay will blow away the worry she's feeling about her father's illness and the uncertainty she's carrying about her life choices and replace them with enthusiasm for both her family and work. Louisa's not the only one searching for something in Maine this summer. Christy took a Greyhound bus from Pennsylvania with one small suitcase, $761, and a lot of luggage. She's got a past she's trying to outrun, a secret she's trying to unpack, and a new boyfriend who's so impossibly kind she can't figure out what she did to deserve him. But she can't keep her various lives from colliding forever. As June turns to July, July turns to August, secrets will be unearthed, betrayals will come to light, and both Louisa and Christy will ask themselves what are they owed and what they owe others, and how much responsibility they bear for the actions of previous generations. The Vacation. It's supposed to be the perfect getaway. Kate and her 3 best friends spend a week with their families in a luxurious villa in the south of France. Through decades, they've stayed closer than ever, and 7 days of drinking crisp French wine and lying out under the dazzling Mediterranean sun is the perfect celebration of their friendship. But soon after arriving, Kate discovers an incriminating text on her husband's cell phone, a text revealing that he's having an affair and that the other woman is one of her best friends. But which one? She's going to have to figure it out and decide if her marriage is worth saving or not. Murder Takes a Vacation. Laura Lippman. Mrs. Blossom has a knack for blending into the background, which was an asset during her days assisting private investigator Tess Monahan. But everything changes when she finds a winning lottery ticket in the parking lot. She is determined to see the world that she sometimes feels is passing her by. When Miss Blossom booked her cruise through France on the MS Solitaire, she did not expect to meet Alan on the transatlantic flight. He is the first man who sparked something inside her since her beloved husband passed. She also didn't expect to find Alan to be dead 24 hours after they arrived in Paris. Now Mrs. Blossom doesn't know who to trust on board the ship, especially when a mystifying man, Danny, keeps popping up, always present when things go away. He's convinced that Alan was transporting stolen art, and Mrs. Blossom knows more than she's letting on. Death will extend your vacation. Recovering alcoholic Bruce Kohler and his friends computer genius Jimmy and world-class correspondent Barbara take shares in a clean and sober group house in the Hamptons. A carefree summer in Dead Hampton turns lethal when the tide washes in the body of Clea, an investigative journalist whose passion included environmental issues and more than her share of boyfriends. The suspects are all in a 12-step program, but somebody's not abstaining from murder. Soon Bruce and his friends are up to their necks in sleuthing. As the summer heats up, secrets and lies start buzzing around his dream vacation like flies at a beach. Bruce must find the enders by Labor Days without getting himself killed. And I'm just throwing this one in for the heck of it. This one is going in all of them. This one is going in next week's too. I'm going to add it to next week's pile. Because I like the cover. I like the title. Because where I live now, we have tourist season. And I haven't checked it out. I don't know if this is true today. But 20 years ago, the poor end of the boardwalk, you could get taffy for like $2-3. The upper class part of the boardwalk, that same box of taffy was $10. If I had cameras back then, I probably would have photographed it. We didn't have cell phones back then. But that was just the ironic thing, that the price of the same box of candy was different in every single store. It was just too much. So anyway, tourist season. I'm just throwing this in. Cape Carnage is a seaside town of colorful houses, quirky shops, and an unusual high body count. With tourists comes trouble, and Harper Sterling won't let anyone ruin her perfect picture home. A skilled gardener with killer instincts, Harper protects her sanctuary and her aging mentor with a fading memory at any cost. Troublesome tourists don't check out of Carnage. They compost beneath Harper's award-winning flower beds. But Nolan Rhodes isn't your average tourist. Devilishly handsome, disarmingly charming, and skilled with a blade, Nolan is relentless in the pursuit of revenge. On every anniversary of the hit-and-run accident that fractured his life, Nolan slays another target, and he saved the best for last, the undeniable, beautiful Harper Sterling. The problem, Harper isn't the monster he expected to be, and she won't go down without a fight. And that is the end of my top 10 murders. Sorry, we got off on the genealogical tangent in the beginning, and I will show you my ancestor's grave after this. We'll tag it on. They are the one ancestors that their tombstones are literally beds. There's a headboard, an outline of the bed, and a footboard. Hand to God, check it out. Oh, and don't forget JD Robb Saturdays. I did In Death, D. Louise book series. You can see my reviews of the actual book. But now we are doing characterization spoils. We are just talking characters only and their interactions. Don't forget Unboxing Sundays and Flashback Mondays. And of course, my daily book reviews, which I gotta get to reading that next book. It's one of those books where I'm like, why did I take this out? So that's the beginning of my video. I hope I remember. I'm planning it, and I should write that down. But anyway, here's the tombstone. Have a good one.